Hello, everyone. This is JD Calderon, and this is Indy Comics Explained. And yet again, I brought on another fantastic group of guests. Talk about comics and everything about comics, about indie comics especially. So please hit like, hit subscribe, share out the video, let everybody know we're here. And without further ado, let's bring on our guests. Well, let's bring on our co-host.
Hey, how are you? I'm C. Michael Lanning, independent artist, done work with Arrow and Silverline, and actually have a Kickstarter coming up next month with Silverline, which is my first comic, The Rejects, where I penciled, Tommy Florimonte inked, Roland Mahan written, and Haley Martin colored. So check that out.
Nice. Okay. Let's also bring in Mr. Ozzy. Ozzy. Yep. Introduce yourself, sir.
Sorry, you got me.
That's all right.
So my name is Ozzy Longoria. I am co-owner of Gemini Comics. I've been published comics for 20 plus years, and I have a campaign right now. It's called ETA, the Samurai Story, and it's on Indiegogo. Check it out.
All right, cool. Mr. Damion, how are you, sir? Damion, can you hear me?
It's not a show. It's not me on your show if I don't mute myself and then talk for like 5 minutes.
That's true.
I'm Damion Waldbrunn. I am an artist, and I make toys. My brand's called O Toys. I do comics with Day One Comics, which I created my Roamer with. And I have a friend who decided to join me tonight.
Nice. You have a cat blanket.
I do.
Dwayne, how you doing?
I'm good. What's going on, everybody? My name is Dwayne Robinson Jr. I am the owner of Animation Comics and Entertainment LLC. And I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
There you go. From Brooklyn.
Throw that in there.
Represent. That's right. I'm originally from Brooklyn and Manhattan, but currently in Queens. So I'm all over the place. What's up, Carlos?
What's going on?
Everything's good, brother. So please introduce yourself, sir.
All right. My name is Carlos Raphael. I'm the publisher of Champion Comics. And Mr. Lanning, that's pretty awesome. You just said that's your first published work, and the writer is Roland Mann.
Yeah, it would be my first published full comic. That's
awesome. And Roland, I've been following him since the 80s. His cat and mouse. So
yeah.
I'm a big supporter of Silverline. So though they got a Kickstarter every month.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, they're pretty hard on my wallet, but yeah. but yeah, so I've got Champion Comics. We have an array of titles out. The New Remarkables just got released digitally, and I just received the new copies physically. So I'm looking forward to getting that out and starting the next Kickstarter.
Nice. It never ends, right?
It never ends. It's not for us.
Not for us. Definitely not for us.
We need money.
That's it, man. Got to keep the hustle alive, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, gentlemen, check this out. So here's my first question for you guys. We all know we're going through a paper shortage, right? So I don't know how many of you this is affected in any kind of way in your business. So my question to you is, how long do you think this is going to last, right? And has it affected your business in any way, right? So let's start with Mr. Carlos.
Yes, because it just did, with the fact that my originally we were on schedule to get this book released on schedule, and that was exciting. Everything was going great, and then this shortage went, because it's not just a shortage, it's the cost has gone up. So so they jacked the price. So what originally in my budget had already been done, it ended up costing me about 200 to 200 between 200 and 300 more to get printed up than what was originally estimated, because the comics went up about 60 cents a copy, somewhere along those lines. So
Wow.
And then of course it took a month from the time, which from what I'm hearing was actually a pretty decent turnaround. But where I should have had the issues show up last month, they just showed up this month. So after everything's said and done, everything it'll be instead of being November, which is where I said and promised it was going to be fulfilled. Of course, we're looking at January, maybe February, because I still am waiting for the trading cards to come in. So I haven't even received those yet. So the books are here, the pinups are here, but the trading cards are still out there. And so we'll see as soon as they get here, then I can start sending out rewards. But yes, it's definitely affected my my timeline. When I promised, but of course, Kickstarter kind of sent out a preemptive message to all the backers that there is a shortage and to be patient. And I also sent one out to my backers saying, unfortunately, COVID strikes again. So as far as when it's going to end, it's going to end when people start getting their vaccines, and it starts, and all of these variants stop popping up everywhere. And so the short answer to that is who knows.
All right, cool. Yeah, and please, I want my trading cards. Anyway, let's move it on to Dwayne. How do you? How's it been affecting you?
For me, not so much right now, but I know it probably will if this continues to go on, because like I said earlier, I'm planning to do another Kickstarter myself, and one of the main things that we need is the printing. So it's definitely going to probably hit me if this continues the way it is. But for right now, I'm okay, because every time when we get a new stock of our comics, we usually get way more than what we really need, so that can hold us out for like the year. So right now we're okay, but next year, early next year, we'll see what happens.
Gotcha. Cool. Damion, how you feel about it?
Yeah, the industry's been pushing for digital since like the early 2000s. So I mean, this just seems like another step in that direction, especially with print on demand. You get somebody high profile enough to actually, get that, and paper won't be a necessity. But I don't think it'll last forever. I mean, none of these things last forever.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Now we're joined by Madison.
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing, Madison? JD, it's good to meet you, bro.
Yep. Nice to meet you.
So, Madison,
Yeah,
before we
I'm
continue,
the one leaving those random comments sometimes when I watch your show. So.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So, what is it? Introduce yourself.
My name is Madison with Golden Street Publishing. I work with Ozzy on the comic ETA, and I'm out of Pittsburgh, and we just squeaked one out against the Ravens like 3 minutes ago because they went for 2 and they missed. So I'm feeling all right. I almost had a heart attack, but
Nice.
But yeah, we're working on ETA right now. We have an Indiegogo going on. It's going to be an 8-issue comic. I have other comics as well. You can check out our website, goldentreepublishing.com, and check out some of the other stuff as well.
All right, cool. All right. Let's move up to Ozzy, and then we'll end with Madison, but let's bring it up to Ozzy. What's up, Ozzy? What do you think of that question?
Yeah, to me, it's been tough actually, because I was gonna go for a newsprint, but no company's doing newsprint right now. It's like they completely disappeared. The cheap option is like gone.
Oh,
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm actually Ozzy. I'm actually talking to somebody about newsprint right now, and we're trying to figure something out with
All right.
possibly.
Let me know.
I can't guarantee anything right now, but I'll keep you posted if you're
No,
still
no.
looking to do newsprint.
If you can give me any options, any leads, I'll go and find it. But yeah, that's good. So yeah, what happened is that what I did, I was gonna do newsprint for two of my projects, my anthology and Doomsday TV, 3 books.
Mhm.
But right now, since I have those options are out of the table and it's more difficult, I already changed for 3 printers,
Wow.
and so I found one that is gonna do premium paper, and I'm gonna just print it that way.
Mhm.
And even when it's more costly, my I was charging less because of the paper, but
Right.
I'm just gonna do it that way, and I'm just gonna send them. It's fine. It's like an extra reward, I guess.
Uh, just nicer paper.
Yeah,
Gotcha. So I
actually,
mean,
I did that with the anthology, and it's a really nice paper with nice cardstock cover,
mhm.
and I send them to all of the backers, so they got a really nice uh,
Nice
anthology.
book. That's
Yeah,
cool. So I mean, like as far as a bump up in price, what are you looking at? 20%, 30%?
probably more.
Oh wow. Okay, 50.
Well, it's because a newspaper is so cheap.
Right.
You can just buy them for like, I don't know, 50 cents or
Right
less.
per book. Hmm.
Per
Now
book.
you're looking at what, like a buck and a quarter or something like that?
Well, can afford it exactly, or 30
Yeah.
buck 35 or something like
Buck
that,
35.
depending on how many you order. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
I'm gonna
what are you getting? 2 or 3,000?
I'm gonna try to order like from 2 to 3,000 exactly,
Right. Yeah, yeah.
because I'm gonna put them on with a distribution company, and I'm probably gonna have to order more, but that
Mm.
might start just in case by next year is gonna be more expensive,
Right. Right. Well, yeah,
more difficult.
this is true. All right, Mr. Lanning, I don't know if it affects you
Well,
or has it?
it kind of does because I have a couple of projects that's out there in the ether that haven't been able to move forward because of the paper shortage, and
Hmm.
so I some stuff that I was hoping to see out by the end of the year that I'm not going to be able to. So that sucks.
Yeah.
Also, and I hopefully after the first of the year we'll start seeing a movement on that, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. 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 Hmm. Madison, I don't know if you heard the question, but the question was basically the paper shortage. Has it
Right.
affected you in your business, right? And how has it affected you in your business? And how long do you think it's going to last?
Uh, the paper shortage is probably gonna go probably into fall next year. I'm thinking, at the latest, just because the whole supply chain's messed up, right? It's not paper. It's not just
Yeah, it's
paper,
not
right?
just paper. Yeah.
It's processing chips and it's everything. So, and then you see things like whatever's happening with all different travel bans based off of COVID stuff. It's gonna be a while,
Mhm.
and how it affects my business. I mean, right now, so basically, I had to do a couple things. I try to order as much as I can generally at first, just because printer offsets based off of scaling how much you order, and
Mhm.
then so like I might not make it all back, and it might take me 15 months to make it all back. But
Gotcha.
that's kind of generally how I do it because at the end, it saves me a lot of money. And you just kind of got to be patient. And like the first 2 or 3 years, it's like rough. But,
Mhm.
but if you're going to stay with comics, if it's something you're going to continue to do, eventually you kind of hit an area where you're good. So right now I'm good. So I can kind of like wait it out. But again, if I have to fulfill this Indiegogo, then I'll have to be looking at something else. But one of the things that I did is on my website now is I'm just selling everything as a package. You have to buy all the comics at once, right?
Mhm.
So I'm actually taking a loss on like 2 of the comics technically, but it's okay because I'm getting a bigger payment up front versus if somebody were to just buy those 2 comics by themselves. So
Right.
that's kind of what I've done so far. But we'll see. Yeah, because I mean I've been scouting prices, and they're not great right now for pages.
Right.
And like Ozzy, like I said to you, I'm talking with somebody who was also trying to get newsprint, and so what they're doing is they're talking to two different companies about if they can do it. The first company was saying they could do it, so it would be like technically it would be like 46 cents an issue, but they're charging like 300 or 400 a SKU to like it. So let's just say I wanted to print a comic, and I said, Ozzy, you want to print a comic with me to offset the printing costs? They're saying, oh, well, that we can do that, but it's going to be $300 to print the next comic to change out the SKU, and it just totally wipes out the savings you would have got per issue on the comic.
Right.
So we're trying to find someone that can knock that down.
Right. You're looking for somebody who can gang print it.
Right.
Right, where you're just sharing all the same machine.
That's what Alterna was doing actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
What is it? Talking about Alterna, so let's roll into that. I mean, have you guys heard anything about what they're doing and with their business? Have they give it up on sharing?
Oh, they're done. Yeah, I talked to Peter, and he told me that they're not going to do it anymore because they were having so much problems with delivering, and some of the comics were mangled. There were so many problems, like in general.
Right.
So they're just going to stop doing that.
Gotcha. Okay, that's cool. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of work. All right, Mr. Lanning, you're up, sir. You're up.
All right, this is based on a conversation I was having with a guy the other day, and let me see if I word this right. Now, if you were talking to a long-time creator who's been published by other comic companies, and you're trying to convince them to move forward, they should try fundraising, but they feel that fundraising is a step backwards. What would you say to convince them that it's not? Or do you think it's a step backwards?
Okay. Well, let's start with Madison.
So just Claire, do I think fundraising like Kickstarter, like a crowdfunding?
Kickstarter, Indiegogo, things like that.
Is a step back?
Yeah. Basically what it comes down to, he's been published before. And he feels like if he did something to fundraise, or even if he were to do something like Indie Planet, just putting it up digitally to sell it would be a step backwards for him in his career instead of a step forwards.
I think that would be on the individual. I mean, it's however you feel about it, and it's kind of the way you go about it too, right? Like, some people are dishonest on crowdfunding and things like that as well. I think crowdfunding is a good way if you're, let's say like if you're well established, you see it, and people get upset at people who do this too. Sometimes it's like, okay, you already have all these fans. Why are you stepping on the indie side and trying to take, money that could have went to another indie creator when you're already a big name? But in many ways, it's almost like, crowdfunding is kind of the middleman, but in a way where they like step out of the way so you can have direct access to your consumers. So it's really, to me, I don't feel like it's a step backwards if you feel like that, then I guess it is. But if you don't, then I think it's fine. Like, I think it's whatever your preference is. I think a lot of, there's a lot of famous people who have crowdfunded different things, not just in comics and stuff like that. And they know because they have a name, they can get that traction to make something happen. Whereas like for myself, I think crowdfunding is great just because you get that direct access, and you know exactly what your sales are too. Or if you're trying to get something done, you can get it done. So it's like, it's not one of those things, a guessing game where you have to know how many books you need to print. And a crowdfund, you know exactly how many books you need to print, things like that.
Mm-hmm. True. Let's move it over to Damion. We'll snake it around a little different this time.
I don't know. I'd have to really get into the meat of why they felt that way. Like, what did they see as the major difference other than cutting out that middleman?
Yeah, see, that wasn't clear to me. It wasn't even so much about cutting out the middleman. I think he feels that just trying to move forward in his career, it's just he feels like he would be going backwards instead of forward. Like he's looking for publishers for his work. He's not looking to crowdfund. He's not looking to digital, put it up on parent by demand sites or anything like that.
And I've talked to quite a few people who feel like Kickstarter's begging. I'm not going to do Kickstarter because I'm not going to beg people for money. And it's ridiculous. I think that's just a ridiculous way to think. If you believe in your project, then you should do anything short of cheating, lying, and murdering people to get your work out there. That's what anybody else would do. They'd hustle.
Murder is always an option.
Your fans. Your fans.
And people have.
Cheat and steal, no. That's where you draw the line. You don't cheat and steal, but you'll murder people. But I mean, it seems counterintuitive to the hustle. I get that you have a fan base, and I get that maybe they've been associated with something in the past, or like you said. I mean, some people think it's begging. Some people do see where Kickstarters have gone wrong. I've experienced it myself. Both sides, and it just seems alien to me, counterintuitive to the thought process of what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
I mean, if they could walk into, if it's like an independent if they're creating their own indie book, they could walk into Image or Dark Horse or whoever. Maybe not Dark Horse because they're trying to.
They're trying to say, it's drying up.
Yeah, but if they could just walk in and give it away, or not give it away, but say make a deal to get it out there, then sure, why not just go do that? Why are you even talking about it? But if you want to do it yourself, and there's no other way, unless be really, really rich, win the lottery. Yeah. I know if any of us won the lottery, we'd be big tomorrow. Let's be real.
I get the feeling like it's kind of like a credit thing, it justifies them. What's the word I'm looking for? Basically, if they get published or they get picked up, then therefore they're authentic. They're the real deal. That's the kind of feel I get, but I'm not positive that's where he's coming from.
I can see that, but putting the book in somebody's hands is the real deal.
Yeah,
right.
When at the end of the day, that's the real deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is true. Dwayne, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everybody else. I think it's definitely about preference. You know what I mean? I had a conversation with a friend of mine. His name is Zing Zing. I don't know if you guys. He's been doing comics and doing it very well for a long time now. I think he told me he's doing it for 10 or 12 years, and he's doing really well with his comic. He's working on an animated series now, and he's a lot of forward progress. And when I was first talking about my first Kickstarter, The Nightfall Michael's Awakening, he was telling me that, you shouldn't do it. You should just, promote it yourself. And, I think that's just kind of just really short-sighted, because for me, I mean, I'm still relatively new in this whole indie comic game. So for me, I look at Kickstarter a really good way for me to reach people outside of my own state. People pretty know me when I go to conventions when I'm in New York, but when I reach Philadelphia or California, no one knows me. So, they can see my Kickstarter and they go, oh, I'll check this out. And, I might have gained a new fan and reaching someone way where I will probably won't be able to reach. So I think Kickstarter or any crowdfunding site is definitely a good way to help push your sales and gain fans abroad.
Yeah.
True. Mr. Carlos?
You absolutely cannot take a step back by doing it. So I'm going to say why and then provide the analogy. So if he thinks he's stepping back, it's only in his head, because in reality, you absolutely positively cannot take a step back by doing it, because the very highest are doing it. So Marvel's done crowdfunding. The biggest names in comics have done crowdfunding. And so it's out there. The analogy would be, back in the day, actors wouldn't show up on television because they felt it was taking a step back being on television.
Yeah.
But with the advent of streaming services, that absolutely is no longer the case. So you see the biggest actors in cinema doing shows on TV. So it's basically the same thing. Back before crowdfunding, however, it may have been, or when the very beginning, that might have been the possibility, but that's no longer the case. So because the fact that the biggest of the biggest have gone and done it, and Todd McFarlane's run a Kickstarter and made millions, it's no longer. If someone feels like doing a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo or anything like that is taking a step back, that's just all in their head now. So because in reality, it's the new game.
Yeah, the stigma shouldn't be there anymore. It really is. It's fading.
Yeah,
That's how I see it.
Mark Silvestri's running one now that I just backed for Cyberforce. So
There you go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that still active?
Like he needs it.
I'm gonna go check that out.
it's a humongous thick fat. It's $50.
It's a 30-year,
but it's the
right?
30 years of Cyberforce, and it's got everything Cyberforce in it. So it's thick, and it's something that I will own.
All that 90s goodness.
Yes.
Yep, all that 90s goodness. This is true. Ozzy, how do you feel about it, bro?
I agree with Carlos. But, all right, I'm going to tell you this. The Ozzy from 15 years ago would not do crowdfunding because he was arrogant. He was just getting money enough. There was no time. But nowadays, obviously, it's different. I have this discussion at conventions, actually, Carlos, with professionals, and some of them, they just don't do it because they have their fan base. They buy it without having a crowdfunding. Like the fan base follow and buy everything they produce.
I got a buddy of mine that doesn't do it because he's got his built-in fan base that buys from him constantly.
Right.
So he doesn't need to do it.
So there's no need.
But he's rare.
Right. And the other one is, and this is more important, there is no time. This is time consuming, so much effort.
Yes.
So that's another big thing. That's why they don't do it, because they have to deliver a book on time. I don't see myself doing that, like, because it is time consuming to do a book a month.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and but I for us, like indie, they were trying to build, like me, trying to build my audience. Definitely, yeah, it's not a step back. I mean, that's what I want, and this helps a lot.
This is true. I mean, for myself, well, I mean, for myself, I look at it like this. I don't know who this person is. I don't know what their deal is, who they've been published by. Have they worked for Marvel and DC, or they've been working for some of the smaller publishers like Source Point and that sort of thing? You know, but the thing is you know, if you're looking to make money, it's an avenue to make money. And also the thing is you know, you got to get off your high horse, you know, because it's like, look, buddy, I don't know who you are, but I've seen Alan Moore up there, and I've seen Scott Snyder up there, and I've seen, you know, Neil Gaiman has books, Mike Mignola, you know, a slew of just high-end professionals are on these platforms making money. So that's up to you whether or not you want to not make money. You know, but the thing is don't think by you doing it you're any better than anyone else because you got published by some random company. It doesn't matter which one it is. Yeah. You know, you're just another creator, and good luck to you. You know, I mean, but whatever.
I mean, that's real validation, though. If you can put out a Kickstarter and you make money from that Kickstarter, and even go over your goal, that's validation that people want what you're putting out there more so than one guy or two guys in a publishing company saying, "Hey, I like this. We're going to put this out." That's
Right.
And data. It's pure. You get pure information from doing a
Yeah.
Kickstarter. You know, just
Mhm.
who likes what and how and you know, I mean, when you're creating, you don't necessarily want to cater to everything everybody wants all the time. But
Mhm.
if you know you're trying to make money, sometimes that's good. So,
Right. Right.
Yeah, and you might get a book. Say you work for Marvel and they put you on Iron Fist. You did it. You got your pay for that, and then if the book doesn't do well, that's it. So
Mhm.
with crowdfunding, you do well, and that can perpetuate itself to continually make money instead of just a one shot. Oh, I'm on Marvel. Great. There's a lot of legends that are making no money and they'll come in my box. I won't name who, but there's several comic book legends that are in my inbox saying, "Hey, man, I like your stuff. Hire me." Um, when it's like that's kind of weird because I've been reading your stuff since I was a kid.
that's right.
So it's just because you've been published by the big two doesn't mean that you're somehow a money machine now. It's
Mhm.
like you
Yeah.
said, this is about making money and sustaining it. So thank God for it, because before crowdfunding, it was a scratch and claw, and
Yep.
it's changed the game big time.
Big time. Exactly. I wouldn't get, like I said, I wouldn't have gotten as nowhere near as far with Oswald if it wasn't for a crowdfunding. You know, I mean, like I said, I'm at 1,400 pages, and a bulk of that, and I mean, a bulk of it is paid through crowdfunding. So,
Mhm.
you know,
I've had American Revere came out without it, so I did get that book out without it, but it
Mhm.
took years, and then it dragged on for years where that was the only thing I had
Right.
because there was no crowdfunding. I had my crowdfunding was tucking away money into my bank account for my paychecks, or begging the parents, can you throw a
Right.
few my way, kind of thing. So
Mhm. Yeah, I know. I was there. All right. All right. Here's one for Mr. Lanning.
Uh-oh.
Hold on, I'm gonna share this. You guys see that? This is this
Yes.
is this is something that Michael had sent me what, weeks ago?
Oh God, it's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's
Before
been 2 or
Halloween,
3
I
weeks.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, okay, let's. And I meant to do it every week, and I kept forgetting to bring this up. So here, but I like this question. I this thing here. I find it amusing. So here it is. Kickstarting every issue of your comic book is the equivalent to pay to win content on video games. Nobody respects it. Just finish the shit and bring it out. If not, do a Patreon. I know you need money, but stop screwing the readership. All right. So, all right, we can. I will stop sharing that. So, how do you guys feel about that? Do you think bringing out single issues is, raping your client base, or do you think, you should just do trades and then move it along like that? Let's start with Mr. Dwayne.
No. I don't. So, this is putting it bluntly. No, I think that's as an indie comic creator, it takes time. It's a lot of hard work. A lot of these things you're putting your own money into. You're not being helped by any way. So to have that first issue out there, and it also gives people more information on people are interested in. Maybe you might have another story in your back burner, and the first one that you put out, the first issue, may not take off as much. So maybe you can say, oh, maybe I could switch and start working on this other one. And so it gives you a little bit of foresight when you put out maybe one issue to see how it takes off. But no, that comparison is way off. I don't agree with that at all.
All right, cool. Damian, how do you feel about it?
I mean, I agree. I think that's crazy. But with one caveat is that it would be nice with some campaigns if you did know there was a second issue being worked on and in the can, maybe.
Yeah.
I will never crowdfund again without everything being finished first. Just personal, because one time having the house burnt down was enough. Beyond that, I think why not? I mean, it. I don't know. Dwayne said it best. I can't even add to it. That was perfect. That was I agree with what Dwayne said.
All right, cool. Ozzy.
I'm with Damion. I will not buy any more singles. It needs to be.
Well, I'll buy them, but I kind of want to know there's something.
Exactly.
I may contact them and say I'm really interested, but
it
is
really
there a
depends.
second or third?
It's definitely fair.
It really depends on the company or the individual who's doing it. Because if it's an unknown, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I think that's kind of what the purpose is for Kickstarter, is these unknown creators to really have this platform to show their work. And, you have to, you're taking a risk, but I mean, you can always start at the cheapest, reward that they have, just to say that you're trying to support the person, giving them, the inspiration.
Exactly.
Sometimes people look at those Kickstarters, and the first week, and they're not making what they're thinking, and they're automatically going, deep into depression, and so I think those they have one issue, and you're on the fence about it. You can still
Ask them.
dollar just to help them along
Yeah.
the way. That $1 can transfer over to another dollar. The next thing you know, they have $7, throughout the week. So I think it's okay, but you just it's like spam, if you're reading it and it's like, this doesn't seem right, then not to try it out. But if the guy has a nice video and a nice presentation, and he's really trying to get you to buy his first issue, then why not give the man a try? And the good thing about Kickstarter is that if it's not successful, you get the money back. So it's kind of like a win-win for that.
Yeah, and it's really not that I don't want to support the indies. It's just that I support them a lot, and then a bunch of them, they haven't come through. Like, they just don't do it, or they don't have a second issue.
Right.
And believe me, I've backed hundreds and hundreds of books, and it's not happening. And so I decided to do only trades or 2 or 3 books at the same time. And just that's what I came up with. It's just because I've been burned out. I mean, I'm burned.
No,
So-
I got you. Carlos, how do you feel about it, bro?
So first of all, I'm not a trade guy. So the only trades here's the crazy thing. The only trades that I back are yours and your wife's. Your
you.
books,
Appreciate it.
your books, because I'm not a trade guy. So and when I just did my first trade, and I didn't even put it out. I put it out there basically direct to consumers. So and it was kind of like just on a whim. It's our 5th anniversary trade, so I cobbled together all the stuff that we've done so far and put it out there. It's not even on a Kickstarter because I'm focused on my single issues and getting those done. Because I think that here's the thing. I've backed trades. I've backed the graphic novels, and those are the ones that seem to take forever to actually get put out. So because you're talking about in the background, behind the scenes, you have these guys that are having to cobble together 100, 200 pages. And that takes time and money. So, yeah, in my experience, and I've done a couple, I won't name them yet because a couple of these haven't come out yet. I'm still waiting. They do updates, but that's where the single issues come out, and I get them, and I've been lucky. I'm a super backer, and I've spent way too much money on Kickstarters, but it's true. It's
I
a
know how that
lot.
feels.
Yeah, but so far I've been getting those. Most of them come in. Some of them will be delayed, and I expect with the shortage that we've talked about already for more delays. But for the better part, the majority have been coming in, and I enjoy reading them and supporting them, and I do mine now. Like with Remarkables, I had said in the beginning when I went with my Kickstarter that issue was this issue number 2 already has begun. So just like issue number 1 was almost done when I went to Kickstarter, which is the first time that ever happened with one of my books. But it's great because until this shortage, I was already ahead of time with delivery. And issue number 2, we're already several pages in. So by the time the Kickstarter rolls around, we'll more than likely again be about halfway through. So it's kind of nice having that leeway time, but at the same time, it takes so much longer for trades and because if you're going to do a trade and you're not going to do the single issues, that means we have to wait for you to produce 4 issues in the background before it comes to. That's just a long wait. Again, with graphic novels, if you're doing a graphic novel, it's not going to be a 40-pager because that's not really a graphic novel. So we're going to be waiting for you to get it done, and you're not getting paid because you're not putting it on Kickstarter. So yeah, I'm a singles guy, and Kickstarter was made for singles.
I got you. All right, Madison, how you feel about it?
Well, first I would say if somebody didn't know anything about comics and this was the first show they watched, they would think you had to wear glasses to make them.
Oh my, we are
looking at everybody.
Yeah, everybody. That's an
We're all
excellent
blind.
observation.
Right. But no, I mean, I think
people.
it's whatever. I mean that statement in general is. I feel like if it's single issues, I mean, sometimes that's how people, if you're getting started in comics, kind of like Dwayne said, that's kind of how people get found out and things like that. And I think it's just like if you're expecting, like Ozzy said, sometimes you can get burned on. You can just get burned on Kickstarter in general. You could back something and never receive anything. You know what I mean? And that's across the board. From any comics to anything that you're crowdfunding, but single issues isn't an issue, or I don't think anything is really an issue. It's kind of what your expectation is. If you're expecting someone to carry on a series, or if they're carrying on it after issue 1, then unless it says that in their campaign where it says, okay, guarantee we're going to do an issue 2. Or usually it's just like, this is issue 1 and we're trying to get it out, and this is what we need and this is what you get. And there's no mention of issue 2 really. And to me, like, that's the expectation that would be that you're funding issue 1 without that expectation of issue 2. Maybe hopeful for issue 2 or something like that. But unless it specifically says, hey, issue 2 after this one, I don't know. I wouldn't really have an issue with with funding single issues at all. Trades. Honestly, I wouldn't mind like I think the original intention of the original intention of crowdfunding was was for things to get funded, to get the money to start doing something versus having it done and then putting it on there. Right. But for comics, it's really great for people on comics because we're able to essentially use it as a direct sales approach by having things done and then having these add-ons for your book to say, hey, if you get this tier or that tier, then you get these extra things that I can provide you. But you might have your book already finished and you're just really kind of almost using it as a direct sales approach to an audience that you haven't necessarily had to get yourself through your own website. You know what I mean? There's those backers built in. And so, either way is fine with me. Like I said, the original intent was for these things was for people to get money to start doing something and then deliver it. But now for comics, it's really kind of morphed into this like direct sales approach almost, where the indie person can kind of hit the margins that they need to hit to actually make some money, or to maybe continue on with other issues. That's kind of how I think about it.
All right, cool. Mr. Lanning, how do you see it?
Well, one thing that gets me is the price point. If there's somebody that I don't know, just like Ozzy said, there's not somebody you don't want to back because you never heard of them before. It'd be easier for me to back a first issue for $5 versus you coming out with a trade and saying, "Hey, back this for $25, $30." It's like, "Hey, I've never heard of you before." It's a lot easier for me to get a $5 book than it is to get a $30 book on that grounds. Also, so what makes you different on Kickstarter not having a single issue versus having your book in a store as a single issue? Well, why don't you get over with it and just put out the whole thing too? And that way, but this was a published artist, and that question didn't come up. I never got an answer to that question. So, so what's the difference between having issue 1 in a store versus issue 1 on a Kickstarter?
Right. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. All right, so hold on. Let me put these up. Daphne Lage, this is my wife, just in case you don't know. She's an artist. Individual issues is where I make most of the money. But I'm consistently reassuring my audience that my issues are done and they're not waiting a year for 32 pages. And then it says, I have proofs for books. I'm not crowdfunding until March and June, but you'd be surprised how many creators look at me like I have 3 heads when I say finish your book before launching. And yeah, I agree with her. I tend to have all the work done. Everything's in the can. The other thing is, I tell everybody is like, look, when I put out like an individual comic, I have, I guess my books are running in black and white right now. And those books are limited edition. They're they're limited to 250 copies. They're signed, they're numbered, right? So you're going to know you're getting a collectible, right? And then if I ever reproduce that book, it's going to be different. Might be in color, might be as a trade paperback. It's going to be different. It's not going to be the same thing. And that series is locked. Once it's done, it's done. And then I'm just going to move on from there. But I find that works for me. So I think, and running the individual issues helps me fund the trade paperbacks. And I'm just completed. Well, I guess either tomorrow or Tuesday, we're going to ship off to the printer the files to my last Kickstarter, and that we'll hopefully get that by the middle of the month, and then I'll start completing that campaign. That'll be the end of the first trade paperback. So I mean, I don't know. I think it's one of those things where it's you have to go step by step, and if what's good for you. I think breaking it up, and I've said this before. It's like an apple, and if you're starving, you got to get as many bites out of that apple as you can. As it comes by you, like if it's on a rope and it's just swinging around and you got to try to bite that apple, you got to get as many bites as you can. So as indie publishers, we have no choice, man. I mean, I know Carlos is in it like that. Madison, I don't know. I'm pretty sure Ozzy's, I'm sure, is not easy on your pockets. So, you got to go in there. You got to make as much cash as you can to keep those artists paid, So, yeah. All right, Mr. C, you're up.
All right, current events. Lately, in the past couple of weeks, we've been hearing a lot about the Hawkeye episode. And one thing about it is some of the aesthetics that they used in the credits and in the advertising mimics the aesthetics on one of the Hawkeye books. And then the guy who made those aesthetics, who made those graphics, is kind of upset he's not getting credit for it. And my question comes into this: you were paid to do that book for Marvel. Doesn't that become Marvel's property? Are you really? Should you be awarded credit? And 2, should you be awarded any money for it if they're using it for something else?
I think it's David Aja or AJA. Aja.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
I thought it was Aha.
David Aja.
Yeah. All right. Well, Damion is up.
Credit, yeah, just my opinion. Credit, yes. Payment, no. Maybe. I mean, I know I'd want to be, But I don't know. Like when you sign that contract, you know what you're signing up for. You know,
It's in contracts because Marvel will provide royalty points for art reproduction if it's in the contract.
I think it's a burgeoning field, you know, that sort of thing. So I think that the paint's not dry on it yet. I think you should definitely get credit. Maybe some pay, you know, maybe some. I think they're going to end up having to, just because of the stink that's come out of it. But I don't know. I mean, it's such a gray area, you know. And I say that as an artist, like it's such a gray area. I wouldn't expect to be paid for something that, you know, if I'd already been paid for it and signed off on that, and I know it was owned by someone else, I wouldn't necessarily expect to get paid. Would I like to? Absolutely. Would I expect it? Not so much. Would I expect him to credit me? 100%. Like, you better. That's what I'd be mad about.
Yeah.
Like, I'll come for you. I'll grab a lawyer. Let's go. Like, you know I did it. Everybody knows I did it.
Well, see, the same thing happened just a little while ago with the Winter Soldier. And what's Ed Brubaker? Is that who it is?
Brubaker.
Brubaker. Okay. And the thing about it was I think he did get some kind of royalties for it. He didn't get much.
Yeah.
And
No,
it was like he didn't
one
create.
gets much.
Well, he didn't
He
create
got
Bucky.
an advice. He got 10,000 as basically a thank you, is what he said. So he got a $10,000 check for as a thank you from Marvel, and that's it. He said he's never seen any money. Whereas he made more money for his appearance. He appeared in it as a cameo. And he made more money off of that cameo appearance that he did with the thank you for 10 grand.
Yeah, that's right. Ozzy, how do you feel about it?
You got to wonder. Sorry.
Well, he got paid to write it too, so I mean, that's just
Well, because he created the Winter Soldier, right?
Right, but
and most of the first two Captain America movies was based on his work. You know, I mean, a huge portion of it.
He didn't create it. I mean, he did technically, but it's based on another character. So it's a
Bucky.
derivative character. So they don't get that much money for that.
The derivative. A derivative is what they call it.
Well, he chopped off his arm and gave him a new arm.
Yeah.
He needs to get credit. He needs to get credit for creating that arm. That's what
exactly.
That's how we solved this problem. You got Bucky created by, and then Winter Soldier arm created by. And then, there you go.
Exactly. I'm sorry, we screwed it all up. Ozzy, where you had any more thoughts on that?
So, I'm quite sure someone forgot to give him credit, because they have to give credit to everybody. They're like that's what they do in the movies, right? They have a huge list of all the creators. They have nothing to do with the movies. So someone has just messed up and just payment. I think yes, he deserves it because they're using their designs. And every time an artist, like that's how they pay artists like covers, they pay extra so they can reuse them everywhere they want. Credit for sure. They need to give him credit because it's his design. He designed that thing. Everything is owned by Marvel, that's for sure. But they need to do better. Not to get confused like they have to pay everybody. No, that's everybody signs the contract, the work for hire, and they get paid one time, and that's it. But which I'm sure he did that too, actually. But they need to give credit at least.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we'll wait on Carlos coming back. Dwayne, how do you feel about it?
I just feel like, maybe that's so in contracts, that's when that comes into play. You know what I mean? You got to really kind of pay attention to what you're signing over. I know a lot of creators, Maybe, you know, like we were talking about the creators that get signed to Marvel and all these big companies, they get excited and they think they finally made it. But, you know, I feel like when they get signed to these big companies like that, they expect those people and they see them and go, oh, yeah, I'm going to make a lot of money off of you and you're going to get nothing because you're not paying attention to that contract. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of times that's when that plays a part. Does he deserve to get the credit? Absolutely. Will he get paid for it? Probably not. You know, like a lot of times people, they get their recognition when they're already dead and gone. You know, one of the saddest things I ever seen was a documentary about Bill Finger. I'm sure you guys know who that
Made
is.
me cry.
And that story just, I was like, man, as an artist, as a writer, as just a creator all around, I just felt so bad for that man. Like he just went through hell. And you have Bob Kane talking about, yeah, I created Batman. Hey, you know, he's, and you know, but the thing that really hit home for me was that not even that was the fact that there's probably so many other people that created these characters that people know and love, but they never will get the credit for because they didn't pay attention to the contract or they didn't sign anything, or you know, some kind of loophole got you know in between what they just do. And for me, I think that's just it's a terrible thing, but it's kind of normal thing when it comes to these things like this. When it comes to the entertainment companies, you know, so contracts, man. That's how I see it.
That's what it is. I'm sorry, Madison. I had skipped you over. You were supposed to be next before Dwayne. So, how do you feel about it?
I mean, I feel like kind of like what Dwayne said. Honestly, kind of what everybody said a little bit. It's like it's kind of it falls into that thing. It's like it's the legal issue and then the moral issue, right? So it's like, what does the contract say, right? But what's right? You know what I mean? Like that's kind of how people look at it. It's like, what does the contract say? But what's the right thing to do?
Yeah.
And so I think that you know, if I mean, you should always. People say like this is the funny thing, like because this is across entertainment in general, right? Where people when they're first, if somebody signs you to something to create something for them that they own, your contract is going to be bad. And people say, oh, you should have read the contract or you should have got a lawyer. Well, guess what? You get a lawyer, you read that contract, you ask them to change it, they're going to say nope, and then they're going to hire somebody else. That's what's going to happen. Because the contract is the contract. Like they're not looking to change it. Like you would have to be like the most mega superstar, most undiscovered talent of all time for them to do a special contract for you. So when people are just getting in, I think they sign a lot of those things where they give everything away. And then so in many ways, it's kind of like it's unfortunate. And I think companies should be, especially like if somebody created something and then it blows up and they're not like they literally got $0 for all the billions something made. Like that's wild. Like a company should do the right thing and definitely cut them in. At the same time though, it's like, okay, you know, there's that part where the company is going to say, well, would it blow up if it wasn't us? Like you did it for us. If you just did it by yourself, where would it be? Kind of thing, right? So they can kind of take that thing. So like I said, I think it's like kind of like a legal, like I said, it's a legal and a moral thing. And I think like in general, I think once things get to a certain point, like, you know, now because of social media and everything, where there can be consumer outrage that somebody didn't get paid and then they can get them paid, right? Like that can happen now. But at the same time, in the court, like this person, if their contract says that they're not getting any type of perpetuity or, you know, royalties or anything on that, I mean, they'll never get it. Like, I mean, you know, I mean, if you sign it, you're just not going to get it.
But I'm sure they're going to get some type of royalty. Every contract has a royalty.
Right. If it's in there, then they would get it. But if it's not in there, then they're.
And I've seen those checks. They're like $10.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like a class action settlement.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Carlos, how do you feel about it?
So this is kind of a complex thing because, well, first of all, let's get this out of the way. David Age just said he would like to be paid. He's not saying that he demands to get paid. he says it would be nice if he got paid for it. So it's not something where he's more than likely going to ever see a dime. It's just him saying, hey, it would be really cool since it's really close to my the aesthetics that I did for the covers for Hawkeye, that they pay me. But chances are they're not going to. Also, if I'm just talking from a distance and saying, yeah, it's Marvel or DC, they've got billions, pay the man. But if I'm thinking of it on my level as a indie publisher, I'm going to be a little bit more calculated because I don't want other people sitting there saying, yeah, if Remarkables blows up, you need to pay your guys who did your covers more, because the contract state, it is a one-time deal and it's work for hire, and it is what it is. So I'm a little bit more reserved with it. It's like the creators that I work with, unless we have a special, and at this point I don't, but if I had some kind of special contract with one of my artists that said we were going to share in the copyrights, then yeah, if it takes off, then they're going to make more money. But at this point, it's work for hire. They're helping me. The most, a lot of times I'm the one doing the art direction. So, hey, if for some crazy reason one of my books blows up, my artists are going to make something. If I decide, you know what, it's in my graces to do so. So that's kind of like a slippery slope, especially for us small guys, talking about rewarding people outside of what they were contractually done to do. So it's easy to say, yeah, Marvel or DC, yeah, pay the man. But if the shoe is on your foot, then you might be thinking, maybe we should just stick to what the contract said, which is you got paid already, and I don't need to pay out. Like me personally, I have contracts with my guys. I usually don't like to discuss monetary things that are in my contract, but I can mention that my guys, when I sell T-shirts at cons, I give them a royalty for that. So I feel that's fair. It's in our contract. And so if I sell a T-shirt for $20 based off of that artist's artwork, then I give them a royalty for that. It's not much, but some of them have sold pretty well. And so that's an extra $20, $30 for that person. And they never complain about extra money coming in. So, but that's because it's written in the contract. It wasn't written in David's contract that he get any money. So I don't think that they need to necessarily give him anything. He already got a thank you. I've already seen it. He's got the thank you in Hawkeye. And if they did the same way they did the other ones, and he did get some kind of payment for that, and that's the end of it.
Hush money.
Huh?
They need hush money.
Yeah, hush money.
Yeah, they need hush money. This is true.
But that's pretty much, that's how I feel. It's like if it's in the contract that you get royalties or you get a payment for your art on the aftermarket, which many of them do, fine, pay the man. But otherwise, if it's not in the contract, that work for hire, they get to do whatever they want with that artwork.
Yeah.
If they want to sell it as a poster, cool. If they want to sell it for however they do it, awesome. You're not getting anything after what you originally were paid for it, if it's in the contract.
That's true. Daphne says they don't want to pay Scarlett Johansson. He thinks they're going to care about a nobody. And then she also writes, that's how the creator of Bratz dolls lost them to Mattel because his contract stated that anything created on company time belonged to them.
That's how Monster lost their beats. Originally, when Monster, for those of you who are audiophiles, when Beats came out, Monster Cable were the ones that actually produced.
How you doing, Mr. Gold?
Produced those original beats before they sold to Apple, and alongside Beats, they created their whole line of very successful headphones. That when Beats sold to Apple, they lost it because contractually it said that anything that they did while they were working on Beats, which included their Monster line, belonged to Beats. So they lost that. They had to pretty much start over from scratch. And now I don't even think they're doing anything as far as audio. But yeah, just like that, they lost it because contractually it belonged to the big boy.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, I'm like, look, you're walking into Marvel, you're walking into DC. You know they're making movies. They've been making them for a while, right? You know what you're getting yourself into. You're going to, you're going to get in there. You're going to sign that contract, and you own nothing. And unless Rob Liefeld back in the day was able to negotiate a portion of Deadpool, right, for himself. So he gets a little piece. That's why he's always out there promoting it, right? Yeah. So that makes sense. If you can get that kind of deal for yourself, great. But that's also why Marvel is so stagnant now, because no one is creating anything for them because they're like, no, right? It's like they're just like, no. I'm gonna save all my good stuff for when I'm gonna make my name here, and then I'm gonna move on to Image or wherever, and I'm gonna put out all my good stuff there so I can sell my own IP.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, that's what that's what I see was going on. I mean, as far as David, is he owed anything? Like you said, ethically, sure, they should give him more money, right? But contractually, we all know that's not the case. We know that contract is iron. that contract is ironclad. They've been through this before. They're currently in lawsuits against people who haven't even sued them yet. They're suing them before before those creators can pipe up. They're like we're gonna get you before you get us. They're in that mode now because they're so paranoid from Jack Kirby and Joe Simon and so many others already going after them. So they're doing preemptive strikes now. So it's rough. And for David Aja to go out there and start making that type of noise, you better be careful.
Well, see, my question on that is this. Okay, well, we're not really talking about characters. We're talking about design and the look of a book. 2, it's not that original. It's not like David came out with this design. If you look at it, you can recognize this type of design from somebody else. So if we're going to say Marvel needs to give David credit for the design of the show, which he didn't design the show. He just designed what they based, what they were inspired by.
For the posters.
He's got to turn around and give credit to where he got his credit from. And that person, and that person, and that person that goes on. And every building that you draw in New York, how about the architects? Why are we not giving them credit? Because that's a part of art too. So the question is, if you get paid for something, yeah, absolutely, contractually get it. Good luck. Because if you try to bring that up with them, you might not get a job. And honestly, they might pass you over. So you just have to play. That's how it plays. So I mean, it's not a very popular opinion, and we could sit here. He should get credit, but then he should give credit to other people who give credit, and so on and so forth. Next thing you know, we're going to be seeing movies that have, 2 hours worth of credits and 30 minutes worth of movies, just so everybody could get credit for it. So essentially, you got paid for a certain amount of work. You knew what they were going to do with that work. You knew who you were dealing with. If they want to know, hey, they can look at that. Hey, I like that design. Let me go check out the Hawkeye book. Who did this? And now there's your credit for that. That's it's not a popular opinion, but you got paid for it. So,
exactly.
Say, hey, I didn't get paid for doing this, but you got paid for what you agreed to do. That's the thing.
Right. Exactly. All right. So I guess I'm up. All right, so here's one. Here's one. You know, Thanksgiving just passed by. You know, it was a week ago, whatever. Right? We're not even thinking about that anymore. But you know, the sentiment is still there, right? What are you guys grateful for, thankful for, that happened to you this year, right? And well, hold on. Let me put this up first. Daphne says, if anything, what this does is put an alert out there to other work for hire artists to demand these unusual clauses in their contracts. There you go. Mr. Gold, he says, what's up again? How you doing, Mr. Gold? All right. So what do you guys have to be grateful for? What happened to you? And we should stick to creatively and you know, what we're doing in our work and Kickstarter, that sort of thing. You know, because I know everyone, you know, the babies and grandbabies, those are beautiful, but you know, we're not talking about those things. So Ozzy, you're up. Don't shake your head, Damion. I know you had a beautiful baby boy.
It happened. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I am grateful for crowdfunding. Actually, if it wasn't for that, I will be just moneyless. Not that I make so much money, but it's just something extra. I keep in contact with my fans, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the good thing. I can't think. Um, it's been a tough year. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Listen, you're still breathing. There you go.
That is
There's
true.
hope. There's hope.
That's hope.
Carlos, how do you feel about it? Oh, what do you have to be thankful
I'm
for?
thankful for this. That
Nice.
the new Remarkables cracked $6,000 for a brand new book, #1. So it was fully funded in less than 24 hours. So it way beyond my expectations. I thought I was going to have to scratch and claw like I did for this last one, which came down to the last moment. So I'm thankful for that. And we made enough to where the next issue is already begun, and we are already several pages in. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for the fact that it's going to be on in Diamond. And I got a thumbs up from Steve Geppy
Nice.
from Diamond.
Nice.
When I made the announcement, first time he's ever acknowledged me on Facebook, and he gave me a thumbs up, and I'm like, that was cool to get that acknowledgement from the CEO of Diamond. Now with this paper shortage, we'll see how long it takes for me to get for that to go through, but we're getting there. So I'll finally get to see where where the fruits of my labor are going. So I am definitely thankful for that. So I creatively, it would be the Diamond.
All right. Sorry about that. You started breaking up for a second.
Did I freeze?
Uh-huh. I don't know if maybe
Yeah, I
maybe
just
I
lost
froze.
it, and I'm.
You're good.
No, I think everybody froze, so I think it would be me,
Gotcha.
which is weird because I'm plugged directly into the Ethernet. So, but yeah, just to quickly, in case you missed it, I'm thankful for the success of Remarkables on Kickstarter, and being that we're going to be on Diamond next year, and I'll finally get to really see where I stand as far as where the future of my brand is going.
All right. Cool. Madison.
Oh man, I'm thankful that some conventions opened back up towards the back end of the year, and I was able to sell some books that I didn't get to sell last year that I was just sitting on in my closet. Because I was anticipating to go to all these conventions in 2020, and that didn't happen. But yeah, man, and then just the Man, I'm just you just got to be thankful that there's all these platforms. You know, the one thing that the pandemic did help is online engagement shot through the roof, but it's like on steroids. And so that's something that I'm thankful for too, because you know, it just really, you know, just all the different platforms and everything. I think it really helped out a lot of indie people.
All right, cool. Dwayne, how do you feel about it? What are you thankful for?
Well, I mean, he basically just like took everything I was gonna say. Just to piggyback off what Madison said, you know, conventions is super important. You know, that I think that's a great thing. That I'm glad that it came back, and hopefully it stayed, you know, with this whole Omicron thing going on in New York, and so we'll see. But you know, I'm really glad that the conventions have come back, and there's been so many new ones that actually are really good too as well. But another thing that I'm really happy about is merchandise. You know, my merchandise that I support my company is really shot up the roof because of all of the, you know, COVID issues and things like that. A lot of people are really like doing things digitally, and so that really helps for me. So yeah, like I said, he just basically said everything I was gonna say. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. You know, so I'm actually thankful also to still be able to draw and do my artwork. You know, from time to time my hand that hurts. I got a problem with my hand, but overall, you know, I'm still here. Like you said, I'm still breathing. So
Okay,
for all of that.
cool. Damion?
Oh, a lot of things. So I'm trying to think creative. Getting no toys off the ground, man. Getting that going has been a blast. Like, not just, you know, I spent 2020. My long night of the soul started in late 2018 and ended in like March of 2020 when everybody said go home. And so I had a nice piece of time where I could deal with all the crap I'd been dealing with, get things done, get things back on a track where I could produce things on a regular basis. So this whole year has been that next step. 2020 was preparing, 2021 has been completion. And getting no toys off the ground, getting that omnibus together for Realmer X, because I've been doing that thing for 25 damn years. That's like, I'm 45. That's more than half my life, you know? And just having that in my hands, like these 25 years of my life, it was scary. I mean, it was, wow, this isn't that thick for 25 years of my life. But it was great. And I loved it.
It's a good book.
Well, thank you. I love the book. I just wish there was more to it. And leads me to the next thing, which is really getting to connect with more people this year creatively, that also are uplifting and good people. And I can help them and they can help me, and we can all, like the whole Rising Tide Network and the whole Rising Tide Broadcast Network, getting to meet Brian K. Morris. I've been friends with Brian Rodman forever. And getting to meet like Brian K. Morris and getting in with those people, like, you know, Ted Davies, and just getting to feel like a community. I was part of a community again, because some of that stuff that happened before really made me feel isolated. And so this whole year has been about rebuilding those things too. And realizing I'm worth enough to get paid well for what I do, you know, not having to give away the store. I was on Dastardly Dingoes earlier in the week, and we talked about mental health issues, which I may be on there more. So that's another thing I'm thankful for. But it made me realize that I've really been devaluing myself as far as my. I'm not saying I'm $1 million, you know, artist. I'm saying I'm worth $25-$30 a page. I'm worth, you know, a good amount for my figures. You know, I'm valuing myself, not just creatively but financially, in a way that I haven't in a while, and in some ways I haven't before. I've really got to build up who I am as an artist. 2022 is going to be a blast. Like it is going to be. I've got comics planned. I've got toys planned. I've got stuff that's getting. I'm working out all the plans first. Then I'm going to make it, and then I'm going to put it out there in that order.
Nice. Yes, that's the way to do it. All right, cool. Anything else? That's it.
That's it. Oh, and my grandson was born, so that was awesome.
Yes. Yes.
He's cute.
Yes, congratulations. Yes, he is. It's adorable. Yes. Mr. Lanning, what do you have to be grateful for?
Well, this year I've got to I'm grateful for a lot of the collabs, a lot of the people I've met through, in this industry on the air and things like that. Also grateful I was able to see 2 short published works in actual print and hold in my hand. So that was neat. That was the first time I had that. So yeah, that's about it right now. So
Okay,
yeah, there's
cool.
a whole bunch of other stuff. Just paper shortage.
Right. No, I know. I'm there with you. I know.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I'm there with you.
So,
But I'm grateful for this bad boy. This is the Kickstarter that's currently up. That's volume 3 of Tall Tales. So that's currently going, and it's like Damion, it's like 30 years for myself and Daphne. It's like we're just putting it out again, and that's the thing, kids. Even though you've put it out 10 times before, you'll always find a new person who's never seen it.
Yep.
Always remember that.
So how long have you two been married?
We've been together 35 years now, like together.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, and we've been making comics that long too, together. Because that's how we met. We met making comics. So we've yeah. And then other than that is just I've had a decent amount of success with the Ozzy Chronicles and doing all that stuff. My artists, obviously, very grateful to be working with them, Jay Gonzalez and Aurelio Tillis, and all the other cover artists that I've worked with, and so there's always something to be grateful about. Now we just got to plow forward.
I have a quick question for you.
What's up?
My question is, we know why Randy's not with us, and I hope his health continues to get better. But where's JD?
Mr. Rosario is at a wedding. He is. He's at his sister's wedding today. Yes. Because that's why he's not with us.
Because I know the last time his router went.
Yeah, right.
Right.
So
yes. Yes, I will twist his arm to get him on here next week.
No, Mr. Torres either.
Who?
Mark.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, Mark, he's you know what it is. I'm trying to rotate my co-hosts and my co-hosts, and I'm trying to rotate them. You know what I'm saying? Like we haven't seen Joe D. McPhee. I want to get Mr. McPhee back on here. Like I said, I'm trying to rotate so I don't burn anyone out. It's not like any of us are getting paid.
You're not
right.
Right? We're just doing
You're
this.
not burnt out yet.
Contracts, get them contracts, y'all.
Yeah, contracts.
Yeah, get those contracts out. There you go. Exactly. You two paid me 50 cents. I'll PayPal you your nickel.
You got to count the squares to see how to put the percentages up.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, but it's funny, Carlos. As far as being burnt out, it's weird because I just finished the last story on the Ozzy Chronicles last week, right? After working on it for 30 years. And now I still have a few more stories to go. I've got like 2 or 3 more, but that'll be a few more months. I just finished putting up the final touches on this latest trade, and I finished putting the finished touches on another story, right? And then for the last 2 days, I've been in some weird melees where I'm just kind of like, oh, what am I supposed to do now? Because I finished all this stuff, But that's as far as I get to burnt out. It's more like, what do I work on now? Because I have 10 other things to work on. So it's not a matter of burnt out. It's a matter of like, damn it, which one next?
So are you moving on? So you got something new that's coming up for the next Kickstarter?
Oh, yeah, always. Always. Look,
He's not going to let us rest either. That's
look,
Oh yeah, that's right.
look. These are books that
Awesome.
I put out. I put these out in '92, right? So I mean, probably before Madison and Dwayne were born, right? So I put these out back then. Now I'm gonna remaster these and put them out again because I think the artwork in these holds up. I think it. I don't know. I think
Yeah,
they hold
do you
up.
want
So
the pages nearby?
Are these your porno books?
no. This is Dreamweavers. This is actually a superhero book. It's about 4 kids who turn into their
nice.
role-playing game characters. So they have their role-playing game characters. They go to sleep at night, and then at night they become their role-playing game characters. And their role-playing game characters go out and do
Nice.
kinds
That's
of
like a
crazy
Disney
stuff.
cartoon waiting to happen. Like that is for real. Like that.
Yeah, that reminds me
I
of
like
that.
But they're in a world with a bunch of superheroes. So, and they're fighting demons and things. It's crazy stuff. Like I said, it's something I'm redoing. Like I said, I did it in '92. I'm gonna hopefully I can get the artist to come back and do some new covers. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
If not, I can do them.
What?
If not, I can do them.
We can get you to do an alternate cover. Yes, definitely.
I was
All
gonna
right,
say
cool.
that, but I was like, I don't want to say that. No. Just talk about how I
Don't be
thought
shy.
myself. I'm not gonna offer it.
Mhm. Look, we'll get everybody an alternative covers. How does that
See, that
sound?
sounds like it could use some toys.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Everybody.
Yeah, look, here you go. The portal comes later. Mhm. Hey, listen, I
They make a
Let me
lot
tell
of
you.
money though, not for nothing on Kickstarter.
what?
They make a lot of money, those porno books and stuff, man.
I know,
They
man.
make
I
a
know.
lot.
I know. And I mean, I have a book called Girls of Terror XXX that we did back in the day, and I have 2 books that we released, and I have one that was never released. So I'm a little tempted, but not yet. It's still, like I said, it's still a lot of other work to put out. So,
We're messing with that
Do
idea.
you think your audience will buy that?
it's a different audience, so I'd have to focus it on that different audience. I can't just focus it.
That's what pen names are for. That's what pen names are for.
Yep.
Yeah, I may have to open up a new account to just work it a little differently. It's like, okay, this is this is gonna be CJ, it'll be DJ.
DJ, yeah.
We'll come on as DJ Calder. There you go.
So you're
Caldero.
See?
Caldero, yeah.
So, all right. Mr. Lanning, you're up.
Oh boy. Okay, I had a question, a while back, and I guess I ask it now. It's kind of a silly question, but I guess it's been about a year or so since we've seen that they kind of started taking like Hanna-Barbera characters and put them in like real life situations. Like you had had more of a serious tone. Scooby-Doo Apocalypse. I think they even did it with Snagglepuss. So my question to you is, what cartoon character would you take and put in what scenario? And what serious scenario would you do it with? Some silly cartoon character. What would you do?
Nice. Ozzy, you're up, buddy.
Let me think. You know what? I had an idea, but it's not a cartoon character. It's a character from a movie. The grandpa from Lost Boys.
Yeah,
I know
okay.
they're doing comic books about the Lost Boys, but
Mhm.
the grandpa is an interesting character, and no one has thought about that. As far as cartoons, I don't know. My favorites were the Pink Panther and the Woody Woodpecker. So I guess maybe some of those. I don't know. I don't know if you
Well, I
can
mean,
do.
if you took Pink Panther, and what kind of situation would you put Pink Panther in that's more realistic than you would see
Right.
normally? Of course, Pink Panther, not Inspector Clouseau.
Mhm.
Right. Right. Because there's movies about that one already.
Mhm.
Or Woody
Yeah.
Woodpecker. That'd be an interesting,
Um, I don't know. Maybe trying to survive the the climate change. That's a good one. I don't know. Kind of tragic, that one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess that's the only one I could come up with.
Right? He's running around from deforestation. I get you.
There you
Right.
go. Mhm. Trying to run away from poachers.
I don't know. Maybe take out a couple of environmental unfriendly villains, huh? You know.
Yeah, running from poachers. That's for the Pink Panther right there.
Right, there you go.
Very unique. The
Mhm.
panther is pink. It's like albino panthers. Like they're unique.
Hmm. You can have it like, what is it? There's some crazy designer they want to wear his skin.
Yeah, they should.
Scarf.
Right. Cruella de Vil. No.
Yeah.
Mhm. Carlos, what would you do?
So, Al, since they already did that with Hanna-Barbera, that's already been treaded with DC. I would probably pick, growing up, when you're my age, Croft Super Show means something. So I would probably do something with updating Lidsville or Sigmund the Sea Monster, or something like that. And or HR Puff and stuff. They were all Croft Super Shows. So any of you oldies might know what that is, or it might even predate all of you.
No, it doesn't.
I know the nightmarish fuel of H&R Puff and stuff.
Yeah.
Sigmund and the Sea
And
Monsters.
so I would probably do something with Sigmund and the Sea Monster. They were all tied in. And I would probably do something with updating that. And maybe even having a more more serious tone to it, because it really was kind of weird and serious. Some of that stuff, it was always coated in candy. So
Yeah, right.
but it was kind of but there was some with the witch, and all of that. It was there was some pretty dark undertones going in there. So I would probably accent that, tone down the candy, and have a good time with that.
The chilling adventures of H&R Puff and stuff.
Yeah. H&R Puff and stuff in Innsmouth.
Yes, there we go.
Here comes Dagon. Yes. All right, that's a lot of H.P. Lovecraft right there. So if you're not familiar with H.P. Lovecraft, you wouldn't get any of those references. Sorry. Madison, what are your thoughts? What would you do?
Oh man, I have no idea. But I like, is it still a cartoon, or is it like real? Is it like a real life?
I'm
You know what I mean? Is it a comic? What's that?
Like a Scooby Doo. Scooby Doo had its mystery. It was a little funny, zany cartoon, and then DC took it and made it an apocalypse fuel nightmare. So
like, if you took something like growing up, we watched a show called Rugrats.
Yeah.
About babies, and you just made them all assassins, because who's gonna suspect a baby?
There you go.
You could just put them in a clandestine
baby
services.
assassins.
There you go.
There you go. That's it. Just take the Rugrats name off of it, and there you go. You got a whole new IP there.
Thugrats.
You can do anything with Rugrats.
Would you say Thugrats?
Thugrats.
There you go.
Thugrats.
Nice. That would definitely work. All right, Dwayne, what are your thoughts? What would you?
All right, so
what nightmare scenario?
Time to think about it, because that's of my expertise. So, all right, so first one I was thinking about was the Flintstones, but set in like maybe like a mafia soprano-ish type thing. You know what I mean? Especially with the opening with him with the car, so you can actually have like the music in the background. Got himself a gun, and that's how he's rolling up with it.
Did you ever see Birdman? Harvey Birdman, attorney at law.
Yeah,
they do that. They do the whole thing with that song.
Yeah. So then I got another one. About the Super Mario Brothers. They actually are more like I don't know if you guys ever seen the Boondock Saints.
Yeah.
So that could be one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cause see, when I first really started to really kind of get like into doing like writing and drawing and stuff, there was this website which I think is still around called newgrounds.com. I don't know if you
Yes.
know
Yeah.
what that is.
Real.
But yeah, so that was like kind of like my kind of like where all my ideas really just started to really come out. So things like this is like really up my alley. It's something simple. There could be another one. I'm not too sure what the character's called, but he used to go heaven to Betsy, Ace to Megatron.
That's
Does anybody know what he's
Snagglepuss.
talking about?
Yes.
That's Snagglepuss.
Oh, that's Snagglepuss. Okay, so
Yeah.
Snagglepuss
Excellent. Stage
could
left
be,
even. Yeah.
like a 007 type character, a secret agent, along with the Pink Panther.
That would have been better
Yeah.
than the book.
Like a team up or buddy cop
Yeah, right.
thing going on. I can do this for days, so I'm just gonna let somebody else go. I can do this for days. That's like too easy for me. Something silly like
Alright.
that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I
I
will
just
say
wrote-
this, one thing though. I'll leave with this though. I've never seen the Lost Boys though. I know that's kind of a bad thing, but I've never seen the Lost Boys. A lot of my friends have always told me that was really good, but I've never got a chance to actually watch it.
Put it on your list.
It's,
Yeah.
When was the last time y'all watched it though? Because I watched it with my 16-year-old and she was not impressed.
Yeah, because I heard it is kind of dated now, so that's
It
why
is a little
kinda-
dated. It's still
dated.
good. Grandpa.
It's a
Grandpa's
product of
still-
its time, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the acting's still good in it. It's just sometimes I kind of look over it like, oh, okay. So,
Mhm.
I've always wanted to see it because I know
See it,
Little
though.
Sister is like such a popular song,
Oh,
even
yeah.
to this day.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I like so many different versions of it. And I was like, man, I gotta watch the movie, see what's the whole reason behind the music. But never got a chance to watch it.
I think it's good. It's just,
Yeah.
it's an
Mhm.
80s movie. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Go watch House.
oh gosh.
House. Yeah. There's a couple of them. There's a Japanese House, which is absolutely bizarre and insane. That's from
Of
actually
course.
the 70s.
From Japan.
From Japan. Yes, House. And then there's House, the American one, with the guy who played All American Hero.
Oh gosh.
Do you remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I can't
Oh,
remember
William
his
Cat?
name though. Is
William
that
Cat.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember the actors. I'm terrible with acting names.
There's House 2.
Oh yeah,
There's a couple. There's 2 or 3 of them, huh? I mean, 3
I
or
think
4
there's
of them.
2 of them. There might be 3 of them. I don't know.
House 4.
Yeah.
Oh god. All right,
I
didn't
think
see
because they
House
came
4.
back. I think they came back
Yeah.
when they realized they could do straight
Ozzy, come
video.
back. You're going down the rabbit hole. Come back.
Yes, yes.
Go down the rabbit hole.
They had him to
David,
be able to compete with. That's why. So,
David, what cartoon would you pervert and destroy?
I thought of 2. One's kind of an easy reach. I would do Courageous Cat and Minute Mouse in a Dark Knight Returns. Like gritty, dirty, bloody. I was also thinking of Adam Ant as Dr. Manhattan. And do like a Watchmen thing with like Adam Ant and Top Cat and some of those mid-tier Hanna-Barbera that they didn't use a lot in those other things. Other than that, I mean, I don't think I have a lot. Trying to think if there's anything you could do with the Muppet Babies. I don't know. What could you do with the Muppet?
I don't.
Well,
That
they're
would
turning
really
into
spit out
Assassin's
because that was the Muppet Babies has to be one of the weirdest cartoons that was ever out there. So
It's
if you could think of it, they might have already done it actually.
well, Disney brought it back, and
they did.
I know. I've seen a lot of kids cartoons lately, and it's all CGI, but it's like 2-dimensional CGI, so it's kind of animated, kind of, or they call it 2.5D, and they have 2 shows, and it's what Disney does with stuff now, where they take something they own and they're like, here's the 12 episodes we have formula for, and we'll just put those out, and then we'll do like another season, and here's like 24 of these. So it's not great, but it's okay. Like it's not a real Muppets thing in the sense of when you grew up with the Muppets.
Gotcha. I for myself, I would do the Smurfs as Echo Warriors or Echo Terrorists. And but I would keep them as they are. Like I wouldn't toughen them up. They would just be Smurfs, but they would be rolling up on people, like shoving shrooms in their mouths, poisonous shrooms, throwing like poisonous frogs at people. But they would be still happy the way they are. They would just appear,
la la
la la la la la la, and then the poor what is that guy cutting down a tree would just pass out and die, fall down like 20 like a 20-story tree or something. Just like poof, just hit the bottom, and they're like, what the hell happened to Jim? So he has a shroom in his mouth. What the hell is that about?
That reminds me of the Captain Planet skit that they did a couple years back with Don Cheadle. Did anybody see that?
The Captain Planet?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, the Captain Planet.
Yeah.
Turn it into a tree.
Oh yes.
Right.
Oh, I was thinking the new Disney on Disney Plus. They have these new Mickey Mouse shorts they've been doing for like 2 years.
Oh yeah, those are great.
They've got 9 seasons. They're amazing. And it's the weirdest shit. Like it's Goofy, and Goofy and Donald and Mickey and Minnie and Daisy and all of them, and it's just like warped. Yeah. And so I watch that constantly with my grandson. I'm like, if you're gonna grow up on cartoons, this is what we're gonna do.
I showed my kid the Felix the Cat a few weeks back, and they didn't know what the hell to do with that. And that was a Felix the Cat back in the 90s. Like, golly, like they're about to cook. Like one of the guy that was gonna eat Felix the Cat ended up going through becoming a talking sausage, and it's just like, golly, y'all don't get this.
So Michael, you asked the question.
Yes.
What would you do?
The first one I thought of was like a quick draw McGraw and like a weird West scenario, like with zombies and things like that. Desert mages and just kind of a mystic thing where he's just kind of battling himself, this lone paladin throughout the Western scene, trying to survive this weird thing. And then I thought about the Jetsons, and one thing about the Jetsons is you had Spacely Sprockets and Cosmo Cogs. And, they were always going against it. So I thought, what would be interesting if you put George Jetson in kind of a, what's his name? The Firm. It escapes me. I can't think of his name right now. Did The Firm. He wrote The Firm. He wrote...
you're talking about... is he a director?
John Grisham.
Oh, okay.
Grisham, yeah.
Kind of a John Grisham situation to where, George Jetson discovers something that Spacely Sprockets is doing, and Cosmo, just something in that situation.
Well, I was gonna say about that, about the Jetsons in a post-apocalyptic world when Rosie has awake, like the AI has become sentient and destroy everything.
She's wearing Judy's face.
Yeah, right. Oh God.
Now you.
At least they took the uninteresting character. We got to keep the other ones alive. And then I also thought about maybe Yogi Bear and kind of an Ocean's 11 type thing. He's like trying to knock over a casino or a food bank or something. Maybe he has Droopy Dog.
I think the evil workers at the food bank would definitely be hilarious.
Yes, absolutely. Just gather, Dick Dastardly's probably in control of the food bank and he hoarding it all up for Muttley or something, that kind of thing.
Nice.
Funny one. It was an episode of Family Guy with Cookie Monster where he was the cookie dough was like drugs. He was trying to shoot it in his veins.
Jesus.
You guys are Nazis, man. You guys are Nazis.
Oh man.
All right, guys. So listen, we got a few minutes left. We do have we have 2 people with a campaign running. So I'm gonna pull up the campaign so you guys can go through it. All right, let me allow that. Hold on. Let me do something real quick. Because this dude. All right. So okay. So you guys can see Etta. All right. So Madison, you're up. Talk to us.
Yeah, so this is our Indiegogo campaign. This is actually my first Indiegogo campaign that I'm doing here for ETA. It's basically for ETA Volume 1, so it's going to be issues 1 through 4 combined into basically one trade. And we're basically running. We got a fixed goal, 4,500 that we're trying to hit for this one. And Ozzy is the artist on this one, and he's done some great work. You can scroll down a little bit if you want to. I put just some of the artwork on there, a little bit about the story. And so like a lot of people say, well, ETA, what's that title? So like, what is an ETA? And it's essentially a class of person in feudal Japan. So like, if you know anything about India, you know, like the untouchable or untouchables, or the you know, the basically like the lowest class. And ETA was a person who might be a butcher or an undertaker. Nothing really quite wrong with them, but they're because their professions are taboo, they may be forced to work and live in villages of their own and not be able to mingle with everybody else. So, you know, this story takes place about a young man who was born ETA, but happens to find himself in the services of a samurai. And he's kind of right on the cusp of becoming a lord himself, but then finds that things take a quick turn south. And you kind of follow his journey through that in this book.
Cool.
Yeah, we've been working for a long time on this one, like probably 5 years, on and off.
I think we started in 2018 working on this.
Yeah, something like that.
It's set to be 8 issues.
Yeah.
All right. Now, how deep are you into those 8 issues?
6.
I'm working on number
okay.
6, at the end of number 6.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Now, is this for the first issue?
This will be for the first. This is we're
Volume.
combining issues 1 through 4. So this is going to be issues 1 through 4. Issues 1 and 2 are actually out now as single issues. But this will be a way to get your hands on issue 4 really early, as well as issue 3, which is actually going to come out soon. But it'll be a way to get your hands on issue 4 really early, and then also get some bonus stuff.
And you've been selling these in conventions, right? The first single issues?
Right. Yeah. The single issues are, you can pick up the single issues either on my website, or if it's on conventions, and then also there's like, you know, digital versions out there on Amazon and Comixology and those things.
All right, cool. Now, let me ask you this question: Why Indiegogo as opposed to Kickstarter?
So I was just looking through different Kickstarter and looking through Indiegogo, and just looking at similar books and what got funded and what didn't make the funding. And then also just kind of the audience, and I felt like more of these types of things were getting funded on Indiegogo, actually reaching their goals, than on Kickstarter. So I went that way with it.
Gotcha. Okay. Fair enough. Now, just out of curiosity, because I always advise this to anybody, like, do you plan to do a Kickstarter with it?
So Ozzy said you do one and then you do the other, right? So like I said, this is my first crowdfund campaign. So okay. I'm not a super experienced crowdfunder. In that sense, I've mostly been doing direct sales through myself, through my website. But so I'm playing with it. Obviously, I have to see how this one goes, and then I might do that. I've already kind of started setting it up on Kickstarter just in case.
Yeah,
you should do it. I mean, I learned from the master.
Yeah, you would definitely want to do that, because Indiegogo, man, I don't want to badmouth it, but my only thing for you is, if you don't reach your goal, don't get discouraged and just go to Kickstarter and think fresh, because It's just in my own experience. I went on Kickstarter. I got fully funded. Same exact campaign on Indiegogo, and I made exactly $10. And I did just as much promotion on Indiegogo as I did on Kickstarter, and it just didn't go over. Exact same campaign, 4,000 on Kickstarter, $10 on Indiegogo.
Yeah, it's a tough platform, man. It is. I've been there. I've raised some money, but man, it's like every time I get kicked in the teeth. You know, grateful for the bucks I've gotten, but it's tough, man. It's tough. It's hard building an audience over there. You got to bring your audience. You know.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah,
So
that's the only
same
thing.
problem myself.
Who?
Yeah, I'll take that into consideration. Like I said, I've already kind of got it set up as a in Kickstarter, because of what Ozzy said, as far as like, you run one and then you might run the other. So just in case I decided to do that, it's already kind of set up. So I'll take all that advice into consideration.
I would run this one a little lower on the money since it's your first one, but obviously it's a little too late for that. But and then you get in demand, and then you can start selling the books at the same time, right? That's what you told me actually, JD, and I'm following your advice.
Yeah. Because once, like, if you hit your goal, then you can put it in the demand, and then you could just go ahead and run it, and then it'll just keep building from there, which is always good. But yeah, I mean, the book looks really good. The artwork is solid. I'm pretty sure I haven't read your story yet, but I'm pretty sure it's solid too.
It's pretty good actually. When he showed me the story, when he showed me the script, I was in a position where I can pick a bunch of projects, and I picked this one because it was really good.
There you go.
That's good. All right. Nice. Yeah, like I said, man, the artwork is solid. I really like it. I would definitely recommend this. It's a trade, so you got any trading cards to go with it? I'm only joking.
I do though.
Okay, good. Yeah. I'm like one of these people who's like, oh, if it's a trade and has some trading cards, I'm like, all right, we'll see. But I got 32 days. That's good. So
yeah.
All right, listen, man. Looks
fantastic. And back the project, and if anybody wants to know any more about it, they can also check out the website goldentreepublishing.com and get some information on it. Or even if you just want to, before you commit to 4 issues in 1 volume, you can read the first one.
All right, cool. Are you also doing what is it, PDFs and that sort of thing?
On my website.
Yeah. Oh, however, either off your website or on the campaign.
Yeah. So on the campaign, it's there's a PDF tier. Basically, all the tiers are named after the different classes in feudal Japan. So
Gotcha.
So at the lowest tier, the Eta tier, you can get the digital copy, and then it's hard copies, which is it's going to be over 100 pages of comics. So you're going to get over 100 pages. For any other tier you get is going to get a hard copy. And even with the digital tier, I'm going to send the first 2 issues of the comic, the hard copy with that, to the first 10 backers of that tier.
I'm glad I backed it.
Yeah.
There you go.
I just did. That's backed it.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
No problem.
Thank you.
Nice. Now just remember, Ozzy has to sign it and remark it.
Right.
No, that's cool. So I mean, how did you come up with the concept? Like what made you come up with the concept as far as like the samurai and that whole thing? Like why did you want to work with that genre?
I work with a lot of different genres. In general, sometimes it's just like the story I tell, but I definitely consume. I'm definitely always into like feudal Japan and samurais and that whole era, that culture. And it was kind of like, the title says Eta Volume 1, a trope busting samurai tale. And it's like a lot of times when you get the image of a samurai in the different stories, it's like, it's like noble and I'm of service to my lord. And there's like, you know what I mean? They're like so straightforward with this depiction of what a samurai is, but it's like, no, like any warrior or anybody at any time, everybody's just a person and they have ambitions and sometimes they do things they're not supposed to do. You know what I mean? So like it was kind of like to tell this story about this person who's a samurai, but it's not like everything's not so straightforward and I'll die for my lord and everything. It wasn't really like that. People were politicking and conniving to try to get to different to get to the top essentially. Tokugawa, the man who unified Japan, broke a promise. He was a samurai. He broke his promise to his lord that he was going to let his son take over, when he died. And he was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm the guy now. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's kind of like, kind of to dispel that kind of myth as at the same time, just tell a really good kind of different kind of samurai story where it's not necessarily all about nobility and honor. It's about someone actually trying to like be a person and try to make their way to the top.
All right. Cool. Sounds good.
It's got a lot of action. It's got nudity. It's got all the good things that you need. You need
everything you love. Action, drama, nudity, and some humor.
Nice. All right. Cool. And it has and you have Ozzy.
And
you got Ozzy. The most important thing.
What else? What else can you?
The book wouldn't exist without Ozzy. So, yeah.
All right. Cool. Oh, look at this. Mr. Joe shows up at the end. What's up, Joe? Say evening all. What's up, Ozzy?
So, Ozzy, do you share the copyright with him?
No. This is his project.
Oh, nice.
I'm just hired artist.
He's the hired gun.
So who did the designs?
He actually gave me the designs. I don't know what the name of
when
the
I
guy.
came to Ozzy, I had basically all the character designs and things. Like the thing that I do too is like, I just when I started working on comics, a lot of times is once I start working with people, I like to stay like finding them work, if you will. So a lot of times the people, like the person, I'll have one person that I know that'll do my character designs. And then when I'm ready to find an artist for the book, I'll just bring it to them and then they can do their own style with the designs that we've already got made.
And they were such a nice designs, actually. Oh, you can see them on the website, but
that's why I asked. Those are some nice designs.
Yeah, those were done. Jeff Johnson did those designs.
Jeff Johnson?
Jeff Johnson from Way of the Rat. He did like Way of the Rat back. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's cool. How'd you touch base with that guy?
Word of mouth. It's like I started working when I started doing comics. I met a guy, and he did some work for Image, and then I was asking him if he knew any artists, and Jeff was one of the names that he gave me, and then I just reached out to Jeff, and Jeff responded. This was way back, and Jeff's done a lot of different character designs for me for other things as well.
We go way back to the 90s. He actually did. We were supposed to do a book for Dark Horse called Earthman, based off of a book that a friend of mine and I published back in 1996. And we met up with Jeff at a convention. We gave him a copy of the book. He actually did several litho plates for the book.
Oh wow!
And so I go way back with him too. And then we were supposed to do a book, but then the market crashed and that book got canceled, which is when I got disillusioned and left the business for over a decade. So it was at that moment I'd had so many different close calls. I was like, this isn't for me anymore.
Maybe
it's
time to go do something else type of.
So I decided to raise a family and get a divorce and all those cool things in the meantime. And then it was with my second wife, who we're now divorced. There seems to be a running theme here. She's the one who actually was flipping through some of my notebooks and stuff, and you should get back into this. So the one good thing I got out of that marriage was that she motivated me to actually start up Champion Comics again, and so that's pretty much when it happened. But yeah, up until that point, I had taken some time off. And
Is that what you got out of it? You got Champion Comics back in the car?
I got it back. Yeah, that's about it. Yep.
A pretzel steak.
There you go. All right, real quick before we wrap up, I just wanted to put this up real quick. That's Ozzy's Sword and the Sorcerer.
Still on demand.
Simon.
Yes,
That dude.
Simon
is cool.
Bisley.
That's a
Come on,
right.
Beasley. Still not giving me that cover. Come on, let's do something like a movement. Release the cover.
Release the cover.
Release the cover.
I'll put the hashtag up for you, Ozzy.
Yeah,
I'll put the
please do.
hashtag release the cover.
There you
Yeah,
go.
because what I'm gonna do, and I don't know what do you guys think about this. I'm gonna do my own version of the colors. I have the pencils.
Right.
So what do you guys think if I do the colors myself?
I would say give him a few more. Have you spoken to him?
Yeah, and he sent me a picture of the updated. He's done it. He's working on it.
Oh,
But
okay.
he's not working fast enough. It's been a year.
Listen, he's
Simon
working with
is
Glenn Danzig. What do you
slow.
want?
He's slow, one, two. But he did do my for $20 in beer money, which is exactly what he said. He did do a commission for me from one of my characters, but dude was righteous, cool as hell.
He's cool.
But he's slow.
Yeah. Don't I know?
Oh,
Yeah.
Because he's announced books that have never even where he's come out with like an ash can, and that would be it. Nothing ever else came out. So yeah, he's very, very slow.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm thinking I'm gonna do my own version. And I know he's gonna deliver, but I'm gonna use my own version for something else or promotion or something like that. By the way, I finished my cover. I can show you.
Release the cover.
Release
Release
the cover.
the cover. There you go. Hold on. Hold on. Let me get this off of here.
And you're the first one to see this. I haven't shown it anyone.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh wow, cool.
Nice.
Let me know when you're. Oh,
Well, you.
okay.
I think that's you.
Yeah, that's
There you go. Oh, that's really cool.
Nice.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Very nice. Yeah.
And I can show you some of my the pages, last pages that I'm working on.
Nice. So I mean, it's going to be in full color. Like, how far are you guys with the coloring?
I'm working on the last pages. Probably 4 left on pencils and inks.
Mm-hmm.
And the colors probably I'm behind a little bit. Probably 6 pages plus these ones. So 7. Never mind. 7 pages.
Mhm.
But as soon as I finish the inks, it's gonna go fast. I hired a flat editor, so it can help me with that,
Right.
and it will go faster. And I want to announce we're gonna do I announced it last time actually, but
Yeah.
we're gonna do a series of anthologies
Hmm.
based on the world of the Sword and the Sorcerer. So if anyone can wanna participate on that and have a story
Oh, excuse me.
or artwork or whatever pinups, you can do that too. And we're gonna try to do put them on stands and put them on a Kickstarter, maybe if Indigo or all the crowdfunding stuff. So we have a lot of plans for that. We got to do a lot of stuff because our rights ends next year, at the end of the year.
Oh, gotcha. So you got to get all this stuff out.
Yep,
Got to make your money. Gotcha.
yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I already have a bunch of people interested. I got an artist from who's very famous. He was very famous during the '90s. I got a writer
John
from
Byrne?
DC.
No?
Sure. I wish actually. I should contact him.
Yeah. Listen, you never know,
Jay
man.
Lee.
You never know. Like honestly.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I got a bunch of big names for the book. So
All right. Cool. All right, gentlemen, we're hitting that 2 hour mark, so I think we've made it to the end. So let's start with Mr. Madison. Last man in, first man out. So please let everybody know where they can find you and your work, sir.
My name is Madison Hawthorne. I work under the publishing title Golden Tree Publishing. You can catch us as Golden Tree Publishing on everything: Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. It's goldentreepublishing.com, but it's Golden Tree TV on YouTube because we have some other things on there like gaming and things like that aren't necessarily related to comics. But you can check us out anywhere there. You can buy my books on the website. They're also available on Amazon and digital and Comixology as well.
All right, cool. Mr. Carlos?
All right. You can reach me at facebook.com/Carlos. I'm sorry. I'm drawing a blank here. Sorry about that. It's writer Carlos Raphael. Then also championcomicsgroup.com. So that's our .com. Also facebook.com/Champion Comics Group. Twitter is Champion Comics. No, it's not. Instagram is Champion Comics Group. Twitter is Carlos F. Raphael. So if you throw an F in the middle of that, you'll find me on Twitter. And you can get our books. You can find the books on Champion Comics Group and then contact me about getting them directly right now. And that's how you would go about getting our stuff.
All right, cool. Well, I got a small piece of advice for you. Go like the guy next to me, Mr. C, and get that link tree. So that way it'll all be under the link tree. Because you got a lot of sites there.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is, so I'll look that up.
Yeah, just go to Linktree and you can sign up for it. It's free. Put everything.
Yeah.
Just type in everything that you have. Get all your sites together and just send them to that right there, and we'll have everything.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Dwayne, where can they find you and your work, sir?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Animation Comics ENT. You can find my personal Facebook, Dwayne Robinson Jr. You can find me also on our group page where we give everybody the freedom to promote their own work. So Ozzy, if you're not a part of the group, you can actually join and promote your stuff. Madison, you too. And you can also find all of our merchandise, like t-shirts like this, and our comics, Nightfall, Michael's Awakening, and Salvation, which is the Kickstarter we're coming up with soon. So definitely follow us to get information on that. The website is animationcomicsent.com.
Nice. Damion, where can they find you, sir?
Well, I don't have a link tree yet, but I will be doing that shortly. pretty much everything's going to be on my website, ruomniversal.com. That's where O'Toys is. Day One Comics also. Any of my music is on there as well. Big Groove Records. Beyond that, contacts on there. Get me on Facebook, Damion Waldbrunn, Day One Comics. Twitter, I think I'm still under something. Oh, forget Twitter. Instagram, X. Like I said, I need that link tree. But RU Omniversal is the home for everything. Starting January 1st, everything is going to be under Omniversal Inc., Omniversal Incorporated. So I do anything and everything you might need.
All right, cool. Mr. Ozzy?
So you can find me on all the Facebooks or all of them. I'm on all of them under Ozzy Longoria. On Instagram, I'm on Gemini Comics 7. And you can buy The Sword and the Sorcerer still on demand on Indiegogo. And soon it's going to be on Kickstarter. You can also find me on Indiegogo for ETA, the Samurai Story. And that's it.
All right, cool. Mr. Lanning, I mean, we already know, but go ahead.
Hey, well, I like to also preference this by saying I just remembered something else I'm grateful for. Linktree. I'm grateful for Linktree.
There you go.
I'm going to get one of those too.
Sounds
So
like,
go to my
sounds like an
Linktree.
advertisement.
Yeah, well, hey, Linktree,
You never know.
yeah, right. I could get some credit here. Anyway, but yeah, all my websites right there on Linktree, DeviantArt, my Art Station, Facebook, Twitter, so on and so forth. Everything you can reach me at is right there. So just check it out.
Cool. And listen, Carlos, I'm one to talk because I don't have a link tree either. So you can find me under JD Calderon on Facebook, Twitter, DeviantArt, and YouTube, all under there. And yes, the next time I'll try to have a link tree so that we can all be link treed together.
There we go.
All right. All right. So thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you all for showing up. And just everybody, look. Go check out Ozzy's campaign. Go check out Madison's campaign or their combination campaign. Go check out both campaigns. Both of them are awesome. Both of them needs to be back. So, go out there and support those indies. So thank you so much, everybody. And just remember, buy more books, especially mine. Thank you. Have a good one. Good night, guys.
Good night.